Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Football Wizards. Guys, before we can start the stream, I would just like in confirmation from you whether you can hear my voice properly and everything is fine, so we can begin the stream. If you can just confirm to me, then we can start the stream. Hey, Abrar. Can I just get a confirmation from you if you can hear me properly? Oh, there you go. David Leahy and Daniel Williams, I welcome you both to our live stream. Rakul says SSS. I really don't know what that means, but I guess it's all fine. Okay, so guys, Talal Goals and Highlights says yes. Alright guys, so we now have confirmation. And so back to back 2 good game weeks, guys. It seems like fool's gold in it. We had a pretty decent game week this time around, and we got 77 points. In addition to the last week's 79 points, this is really awesome to string 2 decent game week scores together. So I mean, it was a decent game week in any case, especially if you had Vardy as captain. I'm pretty sure that you would have had a decent game week anyway. Along with that, our Jimenez transfer worked really well. So all in all, it was a really decent game week. I'd like to start with our goalkeeper, Nick Pope. 9-pointer, 3 bonus. I think he had 2 bonus points and one save point. So he did really well in this game week. And looking at his upcoming fixtures, Watford, Crystal Palace. Oh, after that, this really terrible fixtures. But I guess we expect at least 1 more clean sheet in the next 2 game weeks from Nick Pope. So yeah, Pope did really well. Alexander-Arnold, we have selected, the Liverpool fullback, and we are going to stick with him. Although Robertson has been scoring more points in the past few game weeks, but we are going to stick with Alexander-Arnold. And realistically, I didn't expect him to score too many points against Manchester City. I mean, Robertson did get an assist against City, assisting the goal for Salah, but even that was offside. If we go by that, but it wasn't given, so I'm not so sure what VAR is doing. Yeah, so 2 points from Alexander-Arnold. Tomori was a welcome clean sheet and 9 points. The bonus points is a really decent performance by Fikayo Tomori. I'm really happy that we got him, because if you look at his fixtures from, let us say, game week 14 to right up to game week 23, he has some really decent fixtures, and even a lot of these fixtures are at home. So I'd say it's a pretty decent fixture list for Tomori. 9-pointer, can't be more happy. Then we have Lord Lundstrom. Guys, I mean, these 2 points really don't tell the whole story, do they? Lundstrom was amazing in the game against Spurs. He had a very decent opportunity to score a goal. He hit the post. So all in all, I'm really happy with John Lundstrom, and I don't think he's going anywhere from my team soon. Look at these fixtures. I mean, there's a couple of double-digit scores right there for John Lundstrom. Yeah. Then we have Daniel James. What can you say about Daniel James? I think it was more about Rashford missing the open goal, for which Daniel James would have got an assist. So I was pretty happy with Daniel James, actually. I'm sorry for this noise in the background, guys. Somebody's misusing his bike, I guess. Uh, so yeah, I was pretty happy with Daniel James. I think he did pretty well in the game. He made a couple of really good runs. He almost scored a goal and almost assisted Marcus Rashford. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with James. But he is one player in our midfield that we could upgrade, I guess. So, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with him. De Bruyne, again, just like Daniel James, he could have had an assist easily. He could have had 4 assists, but Aguero missed an open goal. I'm not so sure how he missed that, but he did. So I'm happy with De Bruyne, even though his fixtures don't look appealing. But you see Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Leicester. The fixtures are not that good, but if I have to keep one Manchester City player, I would probably go for De Bruyne. So yeah, that's for De Bruyne. And Sadio Mane is a gem. We've had him in our team for what I think we got him in on our wild card, and ever since he's given us like 2 double-digit returns, 1 5-pointer, 1 7-pointer. Can't be more happier with Sadio. So yeah, no complaints there. Mason Mount is really a strange one, because he's like Wolverine. He has some superpowers, because every time we get to know in the news that Mason Mount is injured, but then suddenly out of nowhere his injuries seem to heal and he starts at the game week. So he's like Wolverine. So I'm not so sure what to make of Mason Mount. But the thing is, I'm confused whether to keep Mason Mount or to get Christian Pulisic, because he's the one who's been really doing well with I think 4 goals in the last 2 game weeks, or I think 5 goals in the last 3 game weeks. Daniel says, do you think Pulisic will outscore or match Sterling's points over the season? Welcome to the stream, Daniel. I don't think that Pulisic will be able to match Sterling over the season. I think Sterling will be among the top 2 or 3 goal scorers or FPL point scorers come the end of the season. Pulisic, I don't think he's going to keep up his form as much as he is right now. Even if you look at his hat trick, it was a good hat trick, but you don't see him scoring those kinds of hat tricks every week. So no, I don't think Pulisic is going to match Sterling. And realistically, should we expect a 7.4 or a 7.5 million player to match a 12 million player? I think it's not a fair comparison. If you talk to me about points per million, I think Pulisic will be able to match Sterling in that stat. Looking at the forward line, this is the forward line which everybody is saying is the coveted template forward line at the moment. Abraham, Vardy, Jimenez. We got this forward line 1 week before it became template, so I guess we were good. Abraham scored a really decent goal. What can you say about Vardy? He scored a goal, provided an assist against my team. I support Arsenal. I wasn't the happiest watching that game, but FPL gives you these conflicting feelings, but I always put the team I support above FPL. But yeah, I was so happy finally with the captain return. It's like so elusive for me, but I was happy with these 24 points. And last but not least, guys, Jimenez. What can you say about this guy? He'll frustrate you for 85 minutes and then he'll pop out with a goal and 3 bonus points. No complaints with him. And looking at his upcoming fixtures, I think Bournemouth, Sheffield, West Ham, Brighton, Tottenham, Norwich. I think we can expect some decent returns from Raul Jimenez. Even if you look at his ownership, last week his ownership was in single digits. It's his ownership has skyrocketed in these past few days. So he's not that much of a differential anymore, but still at 13%, not a bad time to be owning Raul Jimenez. On the bench, guys, this is amazing. When we have a good game week, this is like an icing on the cake, because none of the players on our bench got more points than the players we actually played. So it was a perfect selection. Rico got 1, Hayden got 1, Kelly got 0, but I think he played for 45 minutes. Just let me check. Yeah. So he played for 45 minutes. Yeah, okay. He conceded 2 goals, so yeah, -1. So he got 0 points. But so all in all, it was a really good game week for us. If you look at our overall rank, pretty decent. Let's just have a look at our previous game week. 79, pretty decent. Just a second. I'm gonna have a look at not our transfer history. Oops, just give me a second, guys. Yeah, there you go. Game week history. I got confused for a bit. So yeah, here you go. We were sitting at around 2.4 million in game week 10. After game week 10, game week 10, we decided to move to Vardy, and look where that move has brought us. Very decent rank jump in the past 2 weeks. We're at around 9 million. Not really happy. Not 9 million. I'm 0.9 million. Not really happy with my rank if you look at it just in isolation. But if you look at this 2.4 million rank, it's pretty much. I'm really happy with where I'm at in context. So yeah, that is about my game week. Just a second, I'm gonna have a drink of water. All right. So this is how our team performed over the last game week, guys, and we're pretty happy with the performance of the team, and also happy with how our team is looking at the moment. So I think it's time to discuss our transfer plan for the upcoming game week. Pretty happy with how this team is looking at the moment. Not many complaints. Maybe I would like to, if I had to make some change, then I would like to get a Leicester defender in place of Kelly. So that is our proposed transfer for the upcoming game week. We would like to transfer Kelly out and get we were thinking about Pereira and Chilwell, not so much about Soyuncu, although many people have brought him in and got really decent 3 game weeks out of him, 6, 14 and 8. I mean, who can complain about that? But for us, it was between Pereira and Chilwell, especially because Soyuncu is now 4.9, and we don't want to bring a centre half valued at 4.9 million, so probably going to go for Chilwell, because especially the scales tilted in his favor when he provided 3 assists in 24 minutes yesterday, although it was not a really strong opposition for England, but still, Ben Chilwell is really going places. So this is our proposed transfer for game week 13. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think about this transfer? Which one of the Leicester defenders would you pick? And there's also a case to be made for maybe doubling up on Leicester defense with one of the centre halves like Suyuncu and Pereira and Chilwell, or do you think it's better to just pick one defender? And if you have to pick one, which one would you pick? I personally, I have a preference for Chilwell, but let me know in the comment section about which Leicester defender you would go for, or whether you would double up on them or not. So this is the first transfer that we are thinking of, and this is one of the most this is on the top of our list of transfers. Let me just take these players off and tell you which another transfer that we are looking at. All right, so this Kelly is one, Mount is another one, and Daniel James. Yeah, so these are the three players that I can't say I'm not happy with, because they're all going to start for their respective teams. Even Kelly is going to start now because the Crystal Palace right back, he got injured. So Kelly is going to get a game, a couple of games, I guess, until Ward comes back. But this is the only one who doesn't play till the end of the season out of James, Mount, and Kelly. So we want to replace Kelly. Rakul says go for Richarlison in place of Mount. Yeah, Richarlison is a good option, Rakul. But if you look at his fixtures, just let me go to midfielders real quick, and there you go. I know why you're telling me to get Richarlison. I think it's because of the Norwich game. But do you really want to get Richarlison for these fixtures, just for one game to take a punt? I remember we took a similar punt on Callum Wilson, and you know what happened there. Everybody said, Callum Wilson is gonna score a hat-trick against Norwich City. And so many managers, including us, we got trapped. We got Wilson, and what happened between Norwich and Bournemouth, guys? We all remember that 0-0. It was a drag. It was not really even a good game in which there was lots of chances or something. So I think Richarlison is, none of the Everton assets in that case are an option for me at this moment in time. Maybe after these fixtures, game week 19 could be a decent time to get them. Burnley, Newcastle. Newcastle away is also not a really easy fixture, but yeah, maybe. But I'm not really looking at Everton assets at the moment. What do you think, guys? Do you think Everton assets are really valuable, and would you go for Richarlison? I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't go for Richarlison. So yeah, the first transfer that we have in mind is we're gonna take out Kelly and we're gonna get Chilwell. All right. The second transfer that we might make, or we are thinking about, is, I think it's pretty obvious, but just let me type in the name real quick. Anthony Martial. Valued at 7.7, I think Martial is a really good option. The only thing which is stopping me for going for Martial this game week is this Sheffield. Although the official FDR, they've kept this fixture difficulty at 2, but I think Sheffield is a much more difficult game than a 2 difficulty, because they defend, and there was a really awesome analysis on YouTube. Statman Dave, he did an analysis about this, about the overlapping fullbacks of Sheffield. I mean, it's a really decent analysis. I've never seen such a formation in which the fullbacks are overlapping. So this team is really good. Chris Wilder has them playing really good, stable football. So I'm a little bit worried about Sheffield, and also because we are going to replace Daniel James with Martial, and they're both United players. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make this move this game week, but this is another move that I have in my mind. And the third one, obviously, is Mason Mount to Christian Pulisic. And although you can see a yellow, mark on Pulisic, but I think it is just that he wants to avoid international fixtures. So it's just kind of an international break injury rather than a really serious one. So I think Christian Pulisic is gonna be fine. And looking at his score, guys, I mean 20. And can you believe this is the same game week in which Leicester went bonkers against Southampton? He got 20 points in that game week against Burnley. Can you imagine if somebody owned like Ben Chilwell, Jamie Vardy, and Pulisic in that game week? Their game week rank would skyrocket. It would have been crazy. But yeah, you see the returns. I mean, 90, 82, 79. And the most important thing to notice here is that Pulisic started against Watford. Then he played midweek in the Champions League, and then again played against Crystal Palace 79 minutes. So I think at this moment in time, we can say that Pulisic is nailed on as compared to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who is definitely behind the pecking order of Pulisic right now. He's definitely behind Pulisic. So what do you think, guys? Is Pulisic a good option? Do you think he's going to start over Callum Hudson-Odoi? In my opinion, I think he's going to start, because Lampard seems to be persisting with the players who are performing well. You can look at Abraham. I mean, Michy Batshuayi has been doing really well whenever he comes on or whenever he gets a game. But Lampard is persisting with Tammy. Same with Mason Mount. He just plays him every game, irrespective of what competition. Maybe he gives him a rest in the Capital One Cup, but that's about it. So yeah, Pulisic is another one which we are looking at. Bar these three, I don't think there's any other move that we can make in our team. So yeah, these are the three transfer moves that I'm looking at for this game week. Excuse me. Yeah. So this is about our transfer plan. Please let me know what you think. Is this a good transfer plan, or what would you do with this team? Just a second. There you go. So realistically, we want to get Chilwell. He's our first priority. Take Kelly out and get Ben Chilwell in. That's our first priority. And our second priority probably would be to replace maybe Daniel James, but not this game week. Kareem Mikhail, welcome to the stream, Kareem. He says, could David Silva be a cheaper alternative to Kevin De Bruyne? David Silva, yeah, he's gone a little under the radar this season. Let's have a look at David Silva. Oops, not David Luiz, guys. I wouldn't get him in anytime soon, but yeah, David Silva. David Silva has had this really great season up till now, and he has been unnoticed by the template managers. You look at this. I mean, this is like a 10-pointer against Bournemouth, a 10-pointer against Brighton, 11-pointer against Watford. That was a crazy game. I mean, everybody got points in that game, but still, 11-pointer against Crystal Palace away, 9 points against Aston Villa. Realistically, I think David Silva is is a good option, good FPL option, but the only concern I would have is this, he is not nailed on as Kevin De Bruyne is. I think Pep trusts Kevin De Bruyne so much that he has to play him in most of the games. But you see David Silva here came on as a sub, played for 56 minutes against Norwich. Okay, that was a very different game with different circumstances, but still, against Everton, Aguero and David Silva were both benched. So I think you're better off going with Kevin De Bruyne. If you want to augment a Manchester City player with De Bruyne, I think David Silva could be that. But to cover for Kevin De Bruyne, I don't think it's possible to cover for Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, if after these fixtures in game week 18, you could probably get a double up of Manchester City players, but until this time, I think you're better off going with just De Bruyne or Sterling, whoever you own. So, in my opinion, I think it's better to go for De Bruyne rather than hoping that Silva can cover for him. But definitely a good shout, Kareem. I agree with that. So. Alrighty. What else I have to talk about? So yeah, Chilwell. We have Chilwell here. So this is probably how my team is going to look like come the start of game week 13, guys. Bar any injuries during the international break or some news or updates. I think this is how my team is going to look like at the start of game week 13. Shaquille, welcome to the stream. He says Tielemans versus Mount. Yuri Tielemans versus Mason Mount. Pretty decent players, both of them. Let's have a look how they've been performing. Actually, it's a fair comparison, to be honest, because Tielemans has 57 points, cost 6.6 million, Mount 6.7 million. How many points does he have? 58. So 57 and 58, they're pretty much matched up for the points scored. Tielemans has 3 goals, 3 assists, and Mason Mount has 4 goals and 2 assists. The only downside of owning Mason Mount at this point of time is that he hasn't been performing too well in the past few game weeks. If you look here, Newcastle, Burnley, Watford, Crystal Palace, and in the same time, Tielemans in the last 4 game weeks, you see 9, 11, 3 and 6. So this is where the difference lies. If you see these game weeks before Burnley, Tielemans had like just a 12-pointer in one game, and otherwise he just had a couple of 3s and 2s. He picked up his form right here, and it coincided with Mason Mount going out of form. Not out of form, but not getting points, not getting FPL points. So, I mean, at this moment in time, looking at Leicester's fixtures, you can't ignore Leicester's assets, guys. I think moving up to going up to game week 24, even beyond that, I guess they have pretty decent fixture list. Actually, the spread of the difficult games for Leicester is so awesome that you can actually have at least 2 Leicester assets throughout the season, and you can even go for 3 depending upon they keep up their form. So at this moment in time, I would have to say, if you have Mount, keep Mount. If you have Tielemans, then keep Tielemans. And if you have to make a choice on a wild card, then probably you can go for Tielemans. The only thing about Tielemans is that he plays a little deep lying midfielder, more like a box to box guy. Leicester sets up in like a 4-1-4-1 formation in which Wilfred Ndidi he sits at the base of that midfield, protecting the defense, and Tielemans plays along with Madison a little bit further forward. But I think Madison is the more advanced of the two. But if you don't have enough funds for Madison, then I'd say definitely you can go for Tielemans. So on that question, Shaquille, I would say Tielemans. If you have Tielemans, then Tielemans. If you have Mount, then keep Mount. And if you have to choose, then I'd probably go for Yuri Tielemans. So yeah, that's about that. And Kareem says thanks. You're welcome, Kareem. Salam Majid, welcome to the stream, bro. He says, what about Pulisic? I already had a long discussion about Pulisic, bro. So maybe you can go back and have a look after the stream is over. But definitely, I'd say he's a good option. Bruno Matos says Madison versus Martial. Yeah, this is a really tough one. Because it's a really tough one because at this moment in time, Madison is a really good option, and many managers are going for him. And because they are both in the same price range, many people are thinking about which one to pick from these. You see, one starking difference between these two is 21.3% for Madison and 8.8 for Martial. So basically, if you are like me, sitting at around 1 million rank, and you need to climb up the rankings, then you can probably, and if you need a few differentials, Martial is a gem of a differential at this moment. So that's the thing. Both have decent fixtures. If you look at the fixtures, I mean, Martial has, let's say, up to game week 24 or 5. Let's say 25. He has 4 difficult, like in FTR, he has 4 difficult fixtures. And if you look at Madison, up to game week 25, he has 3. I mean, there's not much difference in their fixtures, but definitely the way Leicester City are playing, all their assets are going to get points. But the only problem I have with Madison is this. I didn't own Madison in that game against Southampton. When Leicester played Southampton, and they scored like 9 goals, and Madison got a single goal, and that was also from a free kick. So he was really not that involved, and I was kind of disappointed because I was looking at him from the viewpoint of FPL, and he seemed to be not so much involved. Like Jose Perez got a hat-trick, Vardy got a hat-trick, Tielemans got a goal. Madison was not that influenced. It was not that good for me in that game. But after that, he has got 9 points and another 9 against Arsenal. So what I would like to say about Madison is that he is a stable player who will get you decent points, if we can say that, like 7 points, 8 points, 9 points. Martial is more of an explosive player, and he can get you decent points. But not looking at this season, he hasn't really exploded too much. But Martial has the potential because he's playing as a number 9 in Manchester United, so he definitely has more potential to give you a 15-pointer than let's say Madison does. So yeah, if you want a differential, go for Martial. If you want to keep your rank, definitely I'd recommend Madison. If I had to choose one of the two at this moment in time, I'd probably go Madison over Martial for me. Christopher Gordon says, "Hey Wizard, any thoughts on Robertson? I've got him in my team. Rumored he's out for the season because of his ankle injury." Really? Christopher, I'm not aware about Robertson's injury that says that he's out for the season. I read a couple of comments from Robertson saying that he hasn't been training and he's just been playing the matches and stuff. But I would not believe the rumors. Let's wait for Klopp's press conference and let's wait for further news as to what's going to happen, because these rumors are just in the news. We can't really trust them. So in my opinion, Robertson is a really good FPL asset, and if you have him, I'd keep him until Klopp says that he's not going to play. That's the thing. Kareem says, do you think Salah will find form? Salah is also an injury doubt. There's this ongoing ankle problem with Salah, which is going on. So we need to keep tabs on Salah as well. But I don't think Salah was out of form. He just wasn't getting FPL points. If you look at the stats, Salah has been getting a shot every 13 minutes, a shot on goal. So Salah was not out of form at any point. Just FPL wise he was, but I think if he plays, it's a good idea to keep him if you have him. So Omar says Salah or Mane. Why not both? At this moment in time, if you look at Liverpool's fixtures, and the fixture swing of Liverpool is crazy. These games, these 5 green games, I expect Liverpool to win all these games. Maybe Everton, but even at home, Everton they can win that, especially looking at Everton, how bad they are. So I would probably even think about doubling up between both of Salah and Mane. But if I had to choose one out of the two, I'd definitely pick Mane. As you can see, I have him in my team, and if you look at the form Mane is in, the previous few game weeks, 12 to 5, 12, 77. I think at this moment in time, Mane is the main man for Liverpool this season. He is just like what Salah was last season. He's the mojo of Liverpool. So yeah, Mane for me. Salam says, who's a good goalkeeper choice this season? Goalkeeper, I would not look past Ryan. This guy's crazy. I was thinking Ryan is going to get a hammering against United, and he did. I mean, United scored 3 goals. What more could you expect? But this guy ended up getting 7 points. This guy is something else this season. 10, 7, 4, 6. I mean, they're all difficult games. Everton, Manchester United, pretty difficult games. But if you want a keeper for this game week or upcoming game weeks, I wouldn't go for Ryan. Look at his fixtures: Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Sheffield, Tottenham. I don't think these are the best games to keep a clean sheet, but he's proved me wrong before. He can prove me wrong again. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably have said Henderson, but Henderson can't play against United because he's on loan. Maybe Kasper Schmeichel could be one to look at. Doubling up on Leicester defender rather than doubling up on Leicester defenders, you can probably get Kasper Schmeichel along with Soyuncu or maybe Chilwell or Pereira. So yeah, that's a decent option as well. Other than that, I won't look at too many keepers. I'll just keep whichever you have. Bruno says thanks. You're welcome, bro. Shaquille says, to add to Omar's question, would you prefer a Liverpool double up in defense or midfield? Shaquille, that's a really good question. I mean, if I could afford a Liverpool attacking double up, I would probably go for Salah and Mane, because I think Liverpool have their tails up at this moment in time after beating Manchester City. They're going to go for the league now, and and it's a good time to own an attacking duo of Liverpool players. In defense, Liverpool have been underwhelming, to be honest with you. How many clean sheets have they kept? Two. You see, they've just kept 2 clean sheets all season. So for me, a defensive double up of Liverpool players is not an option at this moment in time, especially as they're both like 7 million. If you want to go with the Dejan Lovren, then possibly you can go for a double up. But if you want Alexander-Arnold and Robertson or maybe Van Dijk, then I'd say better to double up on the attack. So yeah. Cloud1 says double Liverpool defense or attack. So yeah, that's the same question. I've already answered that. I'd probably go for attack at this moment in time if you can afford it. If not, then maybe Lovren along with one of the fullbacks. Mohammed Pandar says, shall I replace De Bruyne for Salah? You already have, and he already has money, and he says, shall he replace De Bruyne for Salah? It's kind of the same question, whether he should double up on Liverpool assets. But I won't be able to comment on that until I see your team. Like, do you have Sterling? Do you have some other Manchester City assets? Because I don't think it's really advisable to go without any Manchester City asset, even though they're not in a good place at this moment. They're 4th in the table, but the way they played against Liverpool, they could easily have scored like a couple of goals, and De Bruyne could have had a hat-trick of assists depending upon if they had scored the goals. So I would have to look at your team before I can say whether you should sell De Bruyne for Salah. Aditya says, is it time to switch from Mason Mount to Pulisic if I have the funds? Aditya, if you have no other pressing issues in your team, like your team is good, stable, and you're happy with your team, then I don't see why not. But do you really want to do it this game week before Chelsea play Manchester City? That's the question, because Chelsea have a really difficult game. Manchester City away. Do you really wanna get do you want to waste transfer, or do you want to replace Mason Mount in this game? Because I'm not so sure if either Mason Mount or Pulisic will get any points this game week. So yeah, that's the thing that you should have to consider. Maybe after this game week, it would be a good time to make this move. But if you have no pressing issues and you really want Pulisic, then why not? I think it is a decent option. Daniel says Sterling for Mane after the Chelsea game. Sterling for Mane. That's pretty strange. I'm not considered getting Sterling, but let's look at their fixtures. Newcastle away, Burnley away, Manchester United at home, not Arsenal. I mean, these two teams are not really FDR4. They've been given a fixture difficulty rating because of their previous status, I guess. But Manchester United and Arsenal are not 4 at this moment in time. I don't think so. But maybe this is a derby, so maybe 4. But do you really want to replace Mane and get Sterling? Why would you want to sell Mane? I wouldn't sell Mane for Sterling, bro. Maybe if you want Sterling, then it would be a better idea to invest in your take money out of somewhere else and get Sterling along with Mane. But to sell Mane for Sterling, I don't think so. Because in the same time, look at the fixtures that Mane has: Brighton, Everton, Bournemouth, Watford. I mean, I wouldn't sell Mane for these fixtures. Gothic Van Life says, everyone missing the obvious triple Leicester, triple Chelsea till Christmas. Yeah, Gothic, I just spoke about that a while ago. I said that for the rest of the season, if Leicester maintains their form, you can probably you should definitely double up on their assets and probably even triple up if they keep up their form. And so is it with Chelsea. And the reason for Chelsea triple up, which I'm suggesting, or which I have in my team as well, if you see Tomori, Mount, and Abraham, I probably I have actually tripled up on Chelsea because of their value. It's a top 4 team, and you're getting their players for 7.6, 6.7, 4.8. What else can you ask for? And that's the reason I think. And Chelsea are playing really good football, and they will definitely score goals. So I think, yeah, Gothic is right. Triple up on Leicester and Chelsea is an option, definitely. Just excuse me, I'm gonna have a drink of water. Alright guys, I'm going to take a couple of questions and then we will build our wildcard team, and then we can end the stream. Ultras, hey Ultras, welcome to the stream. He says, would you do Madison for KDB and Pulisic for Cantwell? Oh, that's really difficult to say. But if you ask me, for a -4 hit, Cantwell is not really an option for me at this moment in time. So yeah, definitely Cantwell should go, but Madison for KDB and Pulisic for Cantwell. I just don't want to advocate transferring out Kevin De Bruyne, because personally I wouldn't do it. If there is another way, you can keep KDB and still get maybe Madison or Pulisic for Cantwell. That would be better. But personally, I think Kevin De Bruyne should not be sold, as he is the second highest scoring midfielder behind Mane. So although he's not been in the best of form in the past 4 game weeks, but this is not what the eye test tells me. I see the games of Manchester City, and Kevin De Bruyne looks dangerous every time he touches the ball. I wouldn't sell him personally, but no, that's just my take on it. Rob says, I need to get rid of Mendy. Do I bring in Walker, Madison, and Ayoze, or do I bring in Williams and Vardy? Rob, which Williams are you talking about? If you're talking about the Manchester United Williams, then I'd probably wait, because Ashley Young was, I think, suspended or something. He might be back in place of Williams. If you're talking about the Newcastle Williams, yeah, Brandon Williams you're talking about, right? So I would probably wait one more game week to see if he plays. I'm not so sure if Brandon Williams is nailed on in that Manchester United team, so I'd wait. Vardy is definitely a must-have at this moment in time. If you're not having Vardy, you're probably missing out on lots of points. Look at this. This is essentially Vardy scoring a goal and your game week rank going down. This is that territory now. Yeah, Rob says he could rotate him with Lundstrom. Yeah, so I understand what you mean, but do you really want to get a player who's not nailed on? That's my question. If you want a Manchester United defender, why not go for someone who's nailed on, like Van Bissaka, I guess, or Harry Maguire? So for me personally, Manchester United defensive assets are not an option at this moment. But that's the thing. So I wouldn't do Williams. Maybe some other defender, but Vardy I would definitely recommend, because Vardy is a must-have for me at this moment in time. Salam says Chelsea players are going for peanuts. Yep, definitely. I would recommend you to get at least 2 Chelsea players, if not 3. And Aram Alav Vardian says Martial or Madison. Hey Aram, welcome to the stream. I've already answered this question, so after the stream is over, it would be really good if you could go back and check it. So, but yeah, I gave a really it wasn't a clear clear-cut choice between Martial and Madison, so I just kind of gave you the options how and when you should choose Martial or Madison. All right, guys. So I had some questions from the chat. Now I think it's time to build the draft, the wildcard draft for those managers who requested me that they've activated their wildcard and they want a wildcard squad for game week 13. So let's build the wildcard. Please do tell me in chat about what changes you would make to the squad I'm making, and which players would you bring in place of the players which I'm bringing in. If you are not, or if you like the team, just let me know as well that you like this team for the wildcard. I'm not making a team to a specific value. I'll just make the team which I think is going to be around 102 maybe, but you can obviously make a few changes afterwards. So I think let's start with the easiest options, guys. Vardy, Jimenez, Abraham. If you are activating a wildcard this game week, I think these are the 3 strikers that you should get. The only player which probably you can change out of these 3, although I wouldn't change him, but you can probably think about replacing Jimenez with somebody like Rashford, if you want a Manchester United player, or you could go with the cheaper option in Danny Ings. This guy has been going unnoticed in FPL, guys, but look at this. Look at these returns which he's been giving you. Keep in mind he's a 6 million striker. 6 against Liverpool, 5, 9, 7, 9, 7 against Everton. I mean, if you want to invest elsewhere in your team and you need a few funds and you need a striker who plays week in, week out, I think Ings is pretty nailed on. Looking at his game time from game week 7, he starts most of the games. So Danny Ings could be an option, but for me, I'd go Jimenez. So yeah, these are going to be my 3 strikers in the draft team which I was gonna make. I started with the strikers because it was the easiest, guys. So yeah, for keeper I would, I could go Ryan, because obviously he's the one who's doing really well, but looking at these fixtures, I'm not so sold on Ryan anymore. Although he got 7 points against United, I think Brighton will lose most of these games, if not all. Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal maybe not. I can't say much about Arsenal at this moment, but yeah, definitely I think Ryan's not a good choice. Maybe you could go with Pope, but he has these 2 difficult matches, and in between he has these fixtures. I would say Henderson, but Henderson is not eligible to play this week. So for goalkeeper, guys, you have to go between Ryan and Pope. Some might go with Ramsdale, as he kept this string of 3 clean sheets together, but I don't trust Bournemouth too much to keep clean sheets in these games. So for me, let's just stick with Pope for now. But if you want, you could go with Ryan, but let's just pick Ryan just because he's been. Sarthak says good evening. Oh yeah, that's I don't want to hear that good evening anymore. That Emery good evening is really starting to annoy me. I was pretty happy when he came, but now he's annoying me. The way Arsenal are playing football at this moment in time, it's so boring watching them. So anyways, good evening, Sarthak. I hope I can't say it like Emery, but yeah, good evening. Mole Kershafi says, do you think it will be safe to change Sterling by Mane. Yeah, Mole. I think if you have no other attacking player of Liverpool, then I think it would be good to bring Mane, definitely. You know. Um, just a second, guys. I'm going to answer these questions once I finish building my wild card. So Ryan, and obviously the backup goalkeeper. We don't even need to think about him. Where's Mr. Button? Where are you? Damn, he's lost him, guys. All right, I've had enough. There he is. Okay, so it's a good idea to get two keepers of the same team, because if Ryan gets injured, then Button plays. So that's always a good idea to get a backup keeper of the same team. So yeah, Button and Ryan. In defense, guys, I'd go. Who'd I get? I'd go Alexander-Arnold. You can go Robertson or Alexander-Arnold. That's your own preference, but for me, Alexander-Arnold is nailed on in my team. I wouldn't change him for any other Liverpool defender because of the way he plays. It would be torture sitting through Liverpool games watching Alexander-Arnold whipping those balls in from the right hand side. Lundstrom, I think, is pretty much fixed. And who else would I get? I would get just a second. I'd get Chilwell in this team. I would get Rico. Oh, he's 4.3 now. For me, it's 4.1. So yeah, I'd get Rico. And who else would I get? Tomori. Yeah, why not? So this is going to be my defense, guys, for the wildcard. Please let me know how do you think it's going up to now. If you like this draft, if you don't like it. In midfield, I think it picks itself, to be honest with you. I'd go Mane, De Bruyne, and this is where I probably make a change. How much do I have? 20, huh? So maybe I'd go Anthony Martial. Let's see how much money do we have. And in place of Mount, let's go Pulisic. Right. So how much do we have? 5.4, huh? We'll probably get some other midfielder, but you'll never play 5 in midfield if you're gonna play these 3 strikers. So it's no point in wasting the money, which we are hard-earned FPL money, guys. So let's see who we can get in these. This Fleck guy is pretty nailed on, isn't it? 90 minutes every game week. God, I mean, not a bad shout, is he? But 4.8. Do you really wanna waste 0.3 on this guy? Probably not. Maybe Dendonker or Hayden, I guess. You could go with one of these. I just picked Hayden because he's just come back and got an assist in the previous game. Yeah. But this is I still have 1 million in the bank, guys. But this is looking like a wildcard draft that I would do if I had to this game week. This looks to me like pretty much. I'm sorry. Look to me pretty much the wildcard team that I would do if I had to make a wildcard draft. What do you think about this, guys? What changes would you make to it if any? Probably just like Mole says, Rico has difficult fixtures. Starting Wolves. Do you think it's time to sell him for another option? Maybe Crystal Palace. Well, I have the money. I have the funds. I could definitely get another player. In that case, I could maybe replace Rico with one of the Crystal Palace guys. Maybe even double up on Sheffield. That's not a bad option either. Probably, which one would I go? Baldock, I guess. He scored the goal. Egan. They're all the same. I mean, maybe Baldock. If I have the funds, why not? But if you don't have the funds, you could probably get a Crystal Palace defender or maybe just stick with Rico. But if you have the funds, you could probably double up on Sheffield for these fixtures, guys. You know, one of these games, not one, maybe two out of these 6 games, they're gonna get a clean sheet. So it would be a good idea to double up on them if you have the money. But yeah, this is what my team would look like. So please tell me in the chat, guys, what do you think about this wildcard team? What changes would you make, and what would you update, and which player do you think I don't have which I should get, and how can you improve this draft? Cloud says Hayden or Dendonker. Yeah, I guess it's just a coin toss between the two. They're never gonna get many points anyways. So yeah, guys, this is probably my draft, the wildcard draft. If you have any doubts about this, or you would like any changes, let me know. Mole says, I'm sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Mole. He says, I have Tierney from Arsenal. I don't know what to do with him. Dude, I don't know what to do with Arsenal anymore. It's becoming so hard to watch their games. And I've been supporting them for such a long time, and it's so hard to watch their games now. Emery has them playing such a bad brand of football. Can't even watch anymore. Tierney. Yeah. I mean, look at these fixtures. I mean, you know, typically a top 6 team, you'd say keep Tierney, but not Arsenal. I think it's better to sell him and get somebody else. Get maybe get Lovren, or maybe get some other defender. You know, maybe double up on Sheffield. If you don't have a Leicester defender, get him, but don't keep Tierney, I guess. Not for me. Rob says, do I bring in Williams and Vardy? Hey guys, in the chat we have Abrar Ali Khan. He is the second wizard of the Football Wizards, so he'll probably answer a couple of your questions in the chat. Rob, and since Rob is asking about this Manchester United left back Abrar, I think you are better placed to tell him whether he should bring in Brandon Williams and Vardy, you know, for a -4. I am not so sure if he's nailed on, but Abrar can tell you better in the chat. He's going to reply to your question. Jake Lambert says, happy birthday Rory Doble. He's going through a tough breakup with Emily Kingham. Wish him the best, please. I'm not sure, but I'll just probably wish Rory Doble a happy birthday. I hope you have a good time if you're watching this. Mole says, thanks guy. Tierney is like Robertson, but Arsenal are poor. It doesn't matter if Tierney is like Robertson, but if you play Robertson in this Arsenal team, he'll probably not do anything as well. It's about Arsenal and how Emery has them playing. It's not about Tierney. You know, he's a good player, but I wouldn't keep him. You know, that's the thing. So guys, what do you think about this wildcard team? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll take a couple of more questions, and then I think it's time to end the stream. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And also guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe before you leave, because you know, when you like the video, it helps to spread the video, and it gets it gets to other people's recommendations. So I would be really thankful and also do follow us on Twitter. I have this Twitter handle on the bottom right hand corner @the_footywiz. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter for the latest updates. I am much more active during the week on Twitter. So if you want any interactions, so that would be a good place to follow us. So guys, I think we've had a good 1 hour stream, and it would be a good time to end it. I'll just answer a couple of more questions before I go. Kareem, welcome to the stream. He says Sterling for Madison and Jimenez for a -4. Sterling for Madison and Jimenez. I don't get this question. I mean, do you want to transfer out Sterling and get Madison and Jimenez, or do you want to sell Madison and Jimenez to get Sterling? Can you, if you can be more clear, then it would be easier for me to answer. Hey Abrar, can you please answer Rob about the Brandon Williams and Vardy -4? I guess he's still waiting. He's asked me this question a few times, and because I don't have any idea, if anybody in viewing this stream has any idea whether Brandon Williams of Manchester United is nailed on, guys, so please let me know, because Rob wants to know whether he should bring in Brandon Williams and Vardy for a -4. Kareem says yes, transfer out Sterling and Wickham for Madison and Jimenez. Kareem, if you have another Manchester City player like Kevin De Bruyne, then definitely you should transfer out. You can, not should, but you can transfer out Sterling for Madison and Jimenez. But if you don't have any other City player, then it's like hard for me to say that you should transfer them out, because you know, I think having one City asset in your team is a good idea. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. Guys, this is my final wildcard draft, and I have 1 million in the bank. So any of you who might not have the same team value as I do, probably can change a few players, because I made a team whose value is around 102 million. And if you still can't afford this team, you can probably downgrade one of these players and fit according to your budget. But I think this is a pretty good wildcard team. One more thing I would like to tell you guys after this game week 13, you can probably you'll see that this team doesn't get that many points, because Chelsea are playing Manchester City, and I've tripled up on Chelsea assets. Do remember that wildcard is not for one game week. When we pick a wildcard, it's probably for the longer term. In this case, it's going to be maybe for 10 or 15 game weeks. So over those 15 game weeks, you can judge the success of the wildcard, since it is not a free hit. You know, so if I had to make a free hit team, it would not look like this. But this is a wild card, so I have to make a wild card thinking about the long-term future of the team and the FPL points which is going to score over the coming game weeks. Kareem says thanks. You're welcome, Kareem. Mole says, please answer the last question. Sure, Mole. Before I go, I'm going to answer your question. Hey, Surfroz, I would like to welcome you to the stream. This is the first comment I'm seeing from you. I hope I didn't miss out, but I would like to welcome you. Mole says, I have Soyuncu. Should I double up with Chilwell or maybe other option? In my opinion, Leicester double up in defense is not a bad idea, especially if you have Soyuncu. You can probably go with the Chilwell. Yeah, I think it's possible. You can go for it. You know. Kareem says, you've been a big help to me last season. I'm glad to be of any help, Kareem. and thank you so much for these kind words. So guys, I think we had some pretty good fun today, and this is a good time to end the stream and say goodbye. I had real fun, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. But before you leave, I would like to request you all to subscribe, to like, and also to follow us on Twitter. The IDs are on the screen. So I hope you have a good week, and probably we will be back next week with another stream. Until then, take care and have a good time. Bye bye.